Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah.
Yes, today's the day. Dude, it's crazy that it feels like a century ago, man, with the first big birthday party we had in Crypto Voxels, when it was sort of just like, let's see how many people we can pile in here and crash this thing. And the intention was not to crash it, man, but man, that just feels like a century ago. I remember sort of like rallying people to get there on Cent and everything, and it was like a big ass turnout, even by today's standards, man.
Yeah. No, and it's so funny looking back at those old pictures, and like shout out James SW who tokenized that first event. I got one of those 10 editions. I know you got one. And it's just cool to look at that image. It's like everyone's so naked except for some hats and shit.
Dude, I put a lot of time into actually decorating that parcel. It was, if I remember correctly, it was a Cent parcel that was sort of getting like loaned out on a monthly basis. Is that correct?
Right.
Does that sound right?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, and I think Sparrow had it before I did, and was giving it to me, and then I was like, I have no idea what to do with this place. And so I just like literally threw everything that I thought was cool from my collection in it at the time on the walls. And I had a ton of awesome stuff up there, man. Like from like, you know, people who are legendary artists now. I had like a bunch of Skeenies up there and M. Libty and Sparrow. And I actually, it's funny to see those pictures, man, because I don't know if the glasses that I'm wearing in the shots from that birthday party were created by Sparrow. And I don't know if I've ever taken them off, man. I'm still wearing them like to this day. It, like got me thinking, I was like, damn, I think I put those on and like literally never removed those. But anyway, we gave out like a bunch of wearables. She contributed some. P-Index made some, and I had the place all decked out. Someone made a joke about it on Twitter yesterday about like me throwing 100 crypto kitties up on the wall. And it was not. It was like 65 or something like that. But that is like not really the point. It was a shitload of crypto kitties that I hung up there and displayed nicely, man. They were like a border around the thing anyway, man. And it was just so funny. The pictures really don't do it justice. We had like a scavenger hunt set up. Like Honey Digital donated some of his token to Hugh to hide in the thing, but the links broke and nothing worked. And Demon Tiger actually contributed some of her token as well to hide in there, but again, like nothing worked and broke and everything. And I don't know, man. Good times and like good memories with a lot of like awesome people who are, you know, still in the mix and doing big things these days.
Yeah, and the Rizzle Block legend was born, and it's been lovingly tended to by Brookhock, the chef, which is awesome to see. Dude, it's been like such a like shit. Like Brookhock is making this such a huge thing. We're all making it a huge thing. This is so fun. Like every December around this time, like it's just far enough away from Christmas that it has like its own spotlight, and it's so fucking cool to do every year, man. Rizzle Day.
Yeah, dude, I hadn't given it a ton of thought up until like very recently. Dude, I was just thinking about this the other day, man. I feel like my whole life moves in like 1 week increments at like the beat of the whip, and like I can't think of anything like a week beyond like that week because I'm focused on that week. And it's not a bad beat, but like anyway, that's sort of sometimes my long-term vision suffers with certain things. Not with this though, but people started hitting me up. They're like, you know, what's going on? Are you doing the thing? Are we going to the Rizzle Block? Like all this shit. And I'm like, dude, it is fun, man. Like, you know, it was just like a dumb thing that I just kept, you know, talking about. So I should probably like give a little context. So I was gifted this piece by Anon like a long time ago, this parcel in Crypto Voxels. and I put a block down. I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to move it. I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'll ever be able to build anything in this spot. Will someone please like help me out with this? And Brookhawk came to the rescue and decked out my apartment. But what he did was preserve that original block, and it made this whole like dumb thing out of it too. And this was like sort of at my prompting. I was like, we can make a really dumb thing out of this and it'll be fun. I was like, why don't we put a fence around it and like save it for construction and like all this shit. And he never moved it, and it's like under the bar at my apartment, and there's like a ancient Google Doc form attached to it that has years and years worth of signatures on it at this point, from people going making the pilgrimage to it once a year, signing the Rizzle Block, and we always send out a bunch of stuff, and Brookhawk's on like I don't even know what iteration of the voxel Rizzle Block this is, because there was one year that had like 10 editions and like robots and like all this incredible shit. So I don't know, man. It's kind of awesome. It's sort of taken on like a life of its own, which was always sort of the idea, just to sort of see if we could like sort of create this dumb lore based on this funny circumstance, and here we are, man. Like many years later, pilgrimaging to the Rizzle Block. Brookhawk's gonna give out a bunch of shit. Meme Explorers is hopping on, and they made a official meme out of Rizzle Block, and it's battling fucking Santa Claus and carrots, and they're giving out a bunch of shit and mem to people who signed the Rizzle Block today. So I don't know, man. And I've been curating in the spirit of the Advent calendar series that I did last year in Monaverse that people really enjoyed. I sort of found myself spinning holiday music for like 25 days straight or something like last year. And it was a bit much. However, people did really enjoy it. And so I've been curating some of my favorites from that list. And it'll be fun, man. It'll be like a holiday party. People hang out, voxel dance or whatever, give out some shit, and it'll be a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, Mission definitely succeeded in making this a thing for years and years and years at this point, and years to come. So looking forward to that. And yeah, I think there's going to be something else added to the event that you may or may not know about. So buckle up, dude. It's I
don't know shit, man. Brookhawk alluded to something cryptic. He's like, I got a surprise.
Born to Secrecy by Brookhawk on a very exciting something. So
it's beyond. I have no idea. I have no idea, dude. In the dark.
You're gonna be fucking mind blown.
This makes it even more like cryptic, man. Brookhawk just sort of said something in passing. He's like, I got a surprise up my sleeve. And I was just like, all right, man. Like,
yeah,
all right.
I look forward to that. Yeah, and dude, next week, Christmas. The vibes are strong with that one. Excited to, just shower the Whip fam in presents again, I think is the plan. Quite. I can't believe it's next week already, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it's coming up quick, man. And very generous Anon's tree is making it rain on our audience and has another incredible selection of NFTs, in a similar vein as what happened over Halloween with the Anon Snail, sending us a ton of NFTs that are like, relevant to the community and things that like our audience appreciates and, that kind of thing. So, man, it's cool. It feels good, right, man? Around the holidays to just like be able to have something like that to just like make it rain on our audience. We've been talking for a long time about how like community generated the Whip is, and like it literally hinges on like sort of everyone's participation, even people literally just like showing up and supporting us and liking our tweets and shit. And so, to be able to sort of, throw it back everyone else's way, a couple big times this year, man, feels good, especially after such like a shitty market and everything, to be able to just like come out here and make it rain. Like, it's good, man.
Yeah, no, it's just fun at the end of the day. And we've always tried to do like giveaways and things like that, like over the years, Christmas time. and it's cool to have that giveaway happen at the Whip, like so much more discreetly even this year. So, and again, that preview from Halloween is just like, damn, what are we gonna do this time? I'm just thinking about what's gonna be in these garages. I don't know if we're gonna do garages. Full disclosure, we have the right to change that from the script, but yeah, that was just really cool to have that reveal and see people and how they reacted to what they got. So that was dope.
Yeah. No, it'll be a fun one, man. We've got a lot of ideas up our sleeves. I was just in the group chat with the build squad, and Metaguy's was just saying he's back from Miami and cooking up a little something for the holiday party that we can gamify it a little bit and give out some awesome stuff and everything. So it'll be good, man. I'm like honestly looking forward to. I mean, just like today, dude. Like today's my birthday, and I made some shitty joke on Twitter this morning about like this. My family's like asking me. My dad's calling me. He's like, "Oh, what are you doing for your birthday?" And I'm like, "I guess I got a work thing. You could call this or whatever." And it's like, I'm not explaining like all this stuff, but. In some aspects, like you could, I guess, categorize it that I work in this space. Like it's good to be in the mix and doing big things with like lots of awesome people and everything. But honestly, dude, at the end of the day, like I could have done this a different day and called it my birthday party. Although now this day is sort of entrenched too. So that's another story, but it doesn't matter. You're out here with I am, and you can do whatever you want and move shit around if you really feel like it. But this is like family to me, man. And I genuinely enjoy like Whipsgiving and like having an event with the Whip, like around the holidays, just to sort of spend time with these people that, we work alongside with, every day throughout the year. And same thing with my birthday, man. It's like, it's taking time to like fucking hang out with you here and record a podcast and, spend some time in the metaverse with all these people who have, hung out with us and supported me throughout the years. It's a great vibe, man. It's great feelings, and it like definitely transcends beyond like, me categorizing this as a work thing. But like, I don't know how to sum this up to anyone who's like way outside of the loop. I'm like, yeah, it's like a work party, like a virtual work party, sort of, or something. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, we're just going to the company pantry for this like company birthday party. Very
right.
very corporate, very corporate.
Right. This is like the metaverse version of like we're all meeting in the break room like we always do for like the dude in the other cubicle's birthday party.
Exactly, dude. We got a cupcake for you.
It'll be dope.
Yeah. No, but it's not far off, honestly. It really isn't. It's just funny that like our equivalent pantry is like a fucking weird, crazy metaverse parcel with a very historical like artifact in there that we all rally around every year and worship around.
Dude, it's a far cry, and I don't know if you've been in these situations in your prior life, man, but I used to work in real life situations, and people would know about your birthday, and I would always sort of dread it, man. Like honestly, I'm like, fuck, man, I hate this shit. I hate like everyone looking at me and like being on display for the fucking thing at lunchtime or whatever. I'm like, oh my god, like kill me now. But this version is a hell of a lot better.
I mean, honestly, I'm the same way IRL with my birthday. I just can't be celebrated. But seeing how fun this has been over the years, like I'm so slow that I'm like, maybe I should celebrate my birthday at some point.
Yeah, dude,
it makes the idea far less like something that I would like imagine myself dreading. You know what I mean? So,
dude, I mean. I would be excited to come to your birthday party, man. I feel like, and I think I would feel the same way about like a lot of people's. Every now and again you see someone's like popping up or something like that, and I try to make it a point to come. And I don't know, man. It's fun. It's like, oh my god, going to a birthday party. I got kids and have to deal with sometimes going to their birthday parties or like going to other people's birthday parties, even like around my age, people who I like, but you got to like travel and like do all this shit and everything. However, man, like people really appreciate you making the effort to do all that and go to those things and like that kind of thing. So and it's fun. And generally, by the time I like do something like that with people I like hanging out with, I am happy that I'm there. But man, to be able to just like click in through a tab and like sort of get the same vibes that like I don't know, it's sort of fun, like making people feel good on their birthday, and also fun to attend those things, especially in the metaverse. People make like all this stupid big deal out of like the most ridiculous stuff. So yeah, man, you should do it. I fully support this idea, and I'm willing to rally some people there to engage in some absurdity.
Yeah, I may simmer on it for another 5 years while I observe like the first decade of Rizzle days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the 10-year anniversary, the 10-year birthday anniversary of Matt not doing a thing for his birthday in the metaverse.
You know, dude. Now to do like a complete 180.
Yeah, do it.
you but there's a thread of what you were talking about that relates, and that thread is Metageist, who you were saying just came back from Miami. And I guess last week into the weekend was Art Basel down in Miami. Obviously, if you're on Twitter, you saw everyone talking about it, sharing, blah, blah, blah. You saw the Tezos poll. I spotted a couple of Metageist in the wild, which I was like, damn, I didn't know Metageist is down in Miami, which is a funny way to like see a friend that is not from Miami in Miami.
Right.
But like I was just, from the artist's perspective, it looked like a great time. But there's like just two standouts that I was like it was just a kind of funny juxtaposition. First is that Tezos poll, like the absolute most janky physical IRL art display I've ever seen in a motel lobby. It looked like. Did you see it?
Yeah. I mean, how could you not, man? It's been remixed like 1,000 times by like
it's a meme, yeah. I'm curious to see like how far up the meme leaderboard that's climbed. Should get Johan on the horn.
Yeah, actually you're absolutely correct.
But it was just like the amount of attention that got, especially if you think back to 2021 when they had like the biggest booth at the Art Basel exhibition proper for something Tezos sponsored to go from that to this one. I was just like, damn, fall from grace. The fall is real. But secondly, I was thinking, I didn't hear anyone talk about their big ass, like really nice booth back in the day in 2021. A couple people who were like, damn, that's pretty inspiring. But on the whole, like just people weren't noticing it, or it wasn't that memorable, I guess. Which is like, I don't know, for someone that wants to guerrilla market at any of these events heading forward, if you want attention, just attention for attention's sake, yeah, Tezos poll is probably a masterclass in that. But then the other hand is like the only other thing that was very memorable from afar was the Andres Reisinger event that Pablo and crew helped put on. Just focused on one single artist, like colors, visuals, vibe, all sort of very on theme, and reminded me of Andres. And all that's to say, for the first Art Basel that I wasn't at for a few years, as an outsider, like on the looker on, it was interesting to see and like look and reflect at what actually stood out to me, which is not that much, except for those two like very opposite examples. Anyway, that was just like the other top thing I wanted to like throw out there.
Oh, dude, the Tezos poll, it's like so funny. I wish I could remember who made it. Someone made some really funny post that they would like to see like a gallery just go in the completely opposite direction, like tons of cords, tiny screens, like shitty old like cell phones displaying the art, and just and I was like, yo, I love that idea, like just going completely opposite. Yeah, man, in terms of I mean, I'm like something like that, man. I'm like, you look at that and you got to think to yourself, it would be better to do nothing than to do this. Although, however, in like reverse marketing sort of way, like, I don't know, maybe they somehow benefit from this, attention, sometimes that works somehow. I don't know, man. This is the first year, honestly, I've had like FOMO to go to Art Basel for a long time now, several years now. And this was the first year I really didn't feel like I was missing out on like a ton of anything. And it wasn't the Tezos poll. That's honestly, I would sort of wish I was there for something like that. And I did see people like having a good time there. But I don't know. I also saw a lot of posts that gave me flashbacks from the last time I was in Miami with like just battling the traffic and all the side events and everything. And the last time I was there, like by day 2, I think I was there for like almost a week, maybe like 5 days or something. And by the second day, man, I was like, I think it was Bitcoin in Miami, if I'm remembering. I was down there a couple times. It doesn't even matter. Each time I was there for a while. And by day 2, I'm like, dude, I'm not even going outside of the area that I'm in. If there's like side events there, I'll go to those and, work from that vantage point. If people want to like come out to those, then that's fine. But like, I just had flashbacks of like spending hours in the car going, just
is the worst.
Oh, it's awful, dude. And there's one night where we ended up at some like real nice dinner for like the majority of the night, but the travel back and forth was like longer than the dinner itself, and I was just like, dude, this is fucking madness. But I always thought, but Art Basel always seemed to attract like a really dope crowd from our community in terms of like really awesome artists and creators and everything. And I'm like, I keep feeling like I am doing a really shitty job in the past couple of years of ending up at the conferences that everyone else ends up going to, and then everyone else goes to somewhere else. And I'm like, fuck, man, I need to like coordinate this ahead of time. So actually, if I can like sort of use this as a public announcement, wherever y'all who are listening decide to go this year, like, let me know where y'all are going, because I want to go to that place this year. And I didn't really feel like Art Basel was it, man, like in terms of like it being the center focus. And I feel like ETH Lisbon has maybe been it for like the past year or two. And usually by the time I figure that out, everyone's moved on to something else. So like, I don't know, I need like to get in the conference back channel and know where everyone's going to end up for like the really fun thing this year.
Yeah. Sort of suspecting Lisbon for like NFC Summit. Maybe they're the next one next year if they're still doing it, which I honestly have no idea. That this year was that and Rizzle Fest were like the big standouts on my end in terms of like getting together with folks, especially a bunch of people who you haven't met before. That's still like in this space. I think most people still, there's at least if you've been here long enough, you've met most people, but there's always like that handful of people like, damn, I'm still waiting to meet that person. So I think like Lisbon stood out as being a place where I met so many of those kinds of people last year. So based on all the word of mouth, I would expect a lot of people to be excited about that heading forward. Honestly, I'm sort of curious about NFT NYC just because it feels like it's been a while since everyone kind of has gotten together for one of these big conferences.
Yeah, I would. NYC is close enough to me that if that was, I decided not to go last time around, and maybe the last 2 ones, I'm not sure, but yeah, man, I'm sort of like I'm going for the people at this point, and I have a feeling like overseas is the play for me because I think there's a lot of people who go to stuff out there that don't travel to the U.S. Or like very far abroad from where they are and everything. So I'm like, I'm down to go to them, man. I'm like, I need to not end up at some like, some conference that I, could have been at virtually to track down, a handful of people that I haven't met yet.
Yeah. But I'm almost like already tired imagining myself at those things. Another like senior moment today, just like, tired Matt from all the getting like all the just the worst voice. Like I'm glad I was able to avoid Basel voice this year.
Dude, that's the feeling I got when I looked at the pictures of everything that was going on in Art Basel. I'm like, dude, this shit looks exhausting.
Straight up, honestly. If I lived in Miami, it's a different situation because then you selectively go where you want to. But I'm not, so you would be thrown like hither thither, all the parties and running around trying to meet all the folks, not spending near enough time any one person as you would like, and it's just you go home and then you're like Meta Guys is like, I'm barely alive, guys.
Well, Well, dude, I feel like, and this is sort of like what Rizzlefest was born out of. Like a lot of these places don't really have like a good home base where like everyone, like a central location. Everything's like so spread out, which is part of the problem. And people have been asking me about Rizzlefest too. And it looks like we're shooting for. It looks like we're shooting to do it again. It looks like we're shooting for fall, 2024. What's
Awesome.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the fall
man.
would be great for that.
Yeah, want to not rush it and take the time and do it right and put everything in place properly, and that's basically it. But also, like I feel like there's it feels good to hear people asking me about it, and the assumption that it's going to happen again, and when is it? I want to like make plans and everything, and yeah, man, I feel like that doesn't feel exhausting, and I'm looking for the other thing to travel to that's not that. So yeah, man, that's the tentative plan. Rizzlefest 2024 in the fall. Location likely the same. Was exploring alternative locations, but those all come with like an incredibly complicated set of logistics that we don't have to recreate if we stick with the same spot. For people traveling as well. So I think the idea is to layer some interesting things on the lessons we learned and the things we did first time around, which was dope, man. But I want to keep it fresh, want to keep it interesting. So that's the loose plan right now.
Boom. No, play it back. That's awesome. And autumn and like outside of Nashville, I can only imagine how beautiful that place will be too at that time of year. So that's awesome, man.
That's the plan, man. To try and do ticket sales in the spring, type of thing. Maybe if we get lucky, we time the market in like a nice, spot where tickets go on sale around the time where people have a little extra money on hand. So it works out well for everyone all the way around, and then they can plan ahead with plenty of time and everything. So yeah, man, if I guess if these conferences don't do it, we'll do it ourselves in terms of creating sort of a central spot where we can all sort of chill and do our thing, and honestly learn from each other and form like good connections that stick in this space.
Yeah, exactly. Catch up so much that like you talk about and get into IRL that even if you meet all the time digitally and you're chatting all the time, it's just it's different. It really does. So boom, man. Well, I know you got a little extra preparation for Rizzle Day. That's happening in like an hour or so. And then tomorrow we got something with Aavegotchis. We're still trying to nail that down. Sort of excited. Hopefully, like regardless whatever happens, we get more alpha into what they're planning, what they're doing, because they're just relentless builders. So excited to hopefully hear and at least put on some Aavegotchi VRMs tomorrow at the whip.
Yeah, dude, the rate that they ship is like, and have done at a tremendous clip for years. It's like insane, man. Like, I mean, we had Aavegotchi on, it wasn't even that long ago. We had them on, I don't know, I'll say roughly like 6 months ago. And that was like just when they had released they had put out the first version of their VRMs, which they've refined since then and everything. But that was like one of their first forays into the 3D world. Their whole Gotchiverse has historically been 2-dimensional. But since then, man, they got like, I don't know, so roughly half a dozen games that are like legit games, and there's one that's like an app on the phone that's like really fun and like sort of addictive and everything that Zbot got me tinkering around with. But I'm like, dude, they like are just putting out tons of stuff, and it sort of sucks, man. I feel like they really deserve more credit than they have gotten from they're sort of historically brushed under the rug by a lot of like mainstream publications and people coming into the space talking about like Web3 gaming and like all this shit, and they just ship, man. So yeah, hoping to squeeze some alpha out of them, and also I don't know, I'm really interested in like learning about their plans for Web3 integration, if it's happened or if it's how it is going to function in some of these games. Because I feel like these are some of the real experienced professionals in this place in terms of like layering in tokenomics into gaming. Axie Infinity is probably the other one that has that scope of experience, genuinely curious to see how this they see this fitting and working and everything.
No, 100%. And I just like everything you're saying, they are criminally underrated, and everyone is, and their mother seems to be shouting and thinking that crypto gaming will have a moment, is starting to have an early moment at this point. But they talk about like Parallel, they talk about Axie, deservedly so. But then they Aavegotchi, just because of their longevity, because their relentless shipping, their development, it feels like it will eventually have a moment. But maybe also just anecdotally thinking about it, like I'm viewing tomorrow as, okay, what did I miss in the interim? Just because I don't, for whatever reason, see any of these updates with any frequency, like on Twitter and things like that. I know all the chatter, all the work, all the actions happening somewhere else. And it just, when you're not exactly in there and there's not like this someone on a megaphone on any of the socials kind of like letting people know what's going on, a lot of people just simply don't know. So hopefully we can help other people, including myself, figure out what the hell they've been cooking up lately, and hopefully get something out there that people just keep hitting on and sharing and catching the interest of many, 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 many others, which just feels right for such a project and a team and like a community.
Yeah, dude, I'm in complete agreement with you. I feel like we're gonna, if it's not this cycle, it's gonna be soon, man, where we're gonna see an entry point of like a lot of Web3 games into the space, and they're gonna catch a lot of hype, and they're gonna inevitably end up becoming like coin farms for bots and people who figure out how to like game the system and everything like that. And it's really, really fucking hard to introduce sustainable tokenomics to anything, even if it's like in-game currencies that are not on the blockchain. Like you see MMOs fucking this up like all the time, and so I have no doubt that at some point we're going to see like a ton of like hyped up Web3 games that fuck up the tokenomics and sort of fizzle out after not too long because everything gets dumped and everything. And so for, Aavegotchi and Axie to just even have been around this long and have that type of longevity and not have totally fucked up their tokenomics in that space and everything. I feel like that aspect itself is like, something that a lot of people don't understand how difficult it is, but I think we're going to see it play out in real time when Web3 gaming sort of like gets its hype cycle, and we see a lot of people enter the space who don't know how to balance, maybe know how to balance tokenomics in like a Web2 game where everything's contained, man, but you put that shit out there in the wild and it's a whole new ball game,
100%, man. Anyway, excited for tomorrow. Excited for Rizzle B Day. Happy birthday once again, dude. And I'll see you in an hour at your birthday party. Later, dude.
And I guess in retrospect, if you're listening to this podcast and you came to the party, thanks everybody for coming, and see you at the WIT.
There we go.
Later. See you, man.
Bye.